What's good, everybody? I've been doing a lot of reviews lately, and I've been getting some requests. One of the requests that I got was for Us, the Jordan Peele film. And actually, before I had started doing reviews, I had been going on this podcast called the Random Acts of Podcast, hosted by Ampavelli and Devin DaVinci. And these guys are really cool, man, real crazy dudes out of Jacksonville, and they're super funny and super reckless with their opinions. But they would have me on their podcast, and basically I would come through and help them out with reviews. So we did a couple reviews. One of them happened to be Us. So with that, I had decided, instead of me cutting a new review for something we already talked about, let me just link you guys to the review that we already have together. So what you're gonna hear is just audio between me, Amp, and Devin, and talking about the movie. First off, I'm gonna just let you guys know there's some strong language in this, and I mean, it's nothing that's gonna scare you, man. The language ain't gonna kill you, man. It's just letting you guys know these guys, they're very free with the way that they speak, and I'm free with them as well. So it's like it's a very unfiltered conversation about the movie Us. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and make sure to check out their podcast. They do their podcast weekly, and it's super funny, and they talk about all types of current events and music and movies. And I look forward to being on their show again. And here it is. Here's the conversation.
Real quick, what you thought about the movie?
All right. I mean, I've been gathering my thoughts and trying to create a way to communicate this like really well for everybody. Specifically, I have a lot of appreciation for like Jordan and like what everybody did, but in general, that's trash,
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see, let's get it. Why do you say so?
So, I think with Get Out, like that movie, it hit a lot of like things. It had like social commentary, it had hidden messages, it had just a lot of things going for it. But with this movie, I felt like it had those things, but it didn't land those things really well. And like it has all those hidden messages, but the social commentary part I think was like a little lacking because it was sending a lot of mixed messages as far as like who we should empathize with and who we shouldn't. So I'm gonna get into it, but I kind of wanted to hear where you guys fell on it. It sounds like y'all liked it. So.
He was I would give him this. Jordan Peele is a fucking genius.
Yeah,
I would give him that.
I didn't like the movie. I'm not saying I didn't. I thought it was okay.
That's what everybody. That's pretty much what it was for me. It was like it wasn't a part two to Get Out. It was more like a.
I feel like I wouldn't watch it again.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't see it. I don't see it being any different between like them horror movie, like the low budget horror movies on Netflix.
Yeah, it don't have no playback value.
If that was a Netflix movie, niggas probably wouldn't even watch that shit.
I don't know, niggas ate off a Bird Box, bro, and that shit is stupid.
Well, yeah. That's the thing is I kind of see it like Bird Box too, because when you have such an interesting premise for a movie that you're like, damn, I really want to see how they land this plane. And then like the movie kind of ends with like a way where you're like, man, that's mad predictable and like simple. Like you're kind of let down, and that's what I think kind of curves it and turns it into like a bad movie where you're like, bro, that movie was bad because you're just like, damn, I was actually interested and it let me down. And that's the thing is like I've been thinking about it and really going through it, and I think like there's this thing about like setting up something and paying it off. And he did that really well with Get Out when he had like talking about the dad, the grandfather, whatever. He ran against Jesse Owens and he came in second. So then in the end, when they pay off what the reveal is and they say, like what they're doing, basically you already believe it because you've already been prepped for that. But with this movie, it's interesting because the way they prep you, the way it pays off, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, I kind of saw that coming. But yeah, just on a lot of different levels. I was actually thinking to compare it to Black Panther, just in the sense of similarly to like what we talked about. I felt like it was a cool movie, but like the messages got real weird because it's like, for one, we're talking about underprivileged people against like privileged people. So it's like the way that the movie ends kind of like ends in like a negative way as far as like representing people who are underprivileged. Like, I'm like, you making the people in the tethered look like they're brainless and they're killing machines when really we're supposed to actually empathize with them because they're the ones that are the forgotten.
I ain't.
You know,
they was niggas, bro. They was niggas eating rabbits.
But it's hard to whatever that word you said.
Empathize.
I'm just messing with it. It's hard to feel bad for them because, like, for example, because you knew when you watched a movie, you kind of like within like 20 minutes of the movie, you be like, okay, Lupita, she one of the clones, one of the tethers.
Yeah, she was just acting too weird for me not to be like, okay, so yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I kind of figured that out like within 20 minutes of the movie, so I kind of like stopped feeling bad because I'm like, she probably want to get back with her family.
Right.
Well, the reveal is in the like the trailer. Like in the trailer, they show the little girl choking out the other little girl. So it's like I was like, wait, that was in the trailer. Like, so to me, I was more just on the ride trying to see which way they go with it. But the way it ended up panning out, I was like, oh, that was mad predictable. The whole movie, I was like, I don't know where this movie's going. But then the way it ended, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of figured it was gonna end that way. But that's a lousy way to end it because it doesn't really say anything. So something I was gonna bring up. Well, I was talking about Black Panther because I just remember that the messaging was very similar as far as we're talking about like Killmonger being the guy who really in the end. Not that he was right or wrong, but at the end he had a point, you know, like he was really supposed to be the leader, you know, he won that shit fair and square, like,
right,
you know, like,
right.
But at the end, the option was like, throw me in the river because I don't want to be in jail, which I felt was like kind of negative messaging because
That nigga was dying. He ain't really.
Because he is from Wakanda though, like he is like he won the shit fair and square, so it's like the same thing with this. It's like the messaging is kind of mixed because it's like the tethered are supposed to be us too. Like they're also supposed to be like humans with emotions, and we should have empathy because they can grow up just like Lupita's character did,
I was about to say,
and become a regular civil human being. So they're saying that because of the circumstances, that's why they become what they become. And I feel like they treat it with very little empathy, and that just shows like how still at this point, like nobody really knows what to do with these people when it comes down to people who have been underprivileged and put in a situation where all they know is to like eat rabbits and kill. It's like that we don't know. Do we keep them underground or do we release them and the world's like corrupt? So I feel like it's still a message of like what do we do? And I don't think it offers any answers, and I don't think it's a smart movie. I think like it did a lot of cool things with hidden messages and with like Easter eggs, but it's all Easter eggs because none of these Easter eggs actually tell you anything about the characters or tell you anything that is relatable as far as why we should care or understand about these people. And like I don't like the portrayal of how they show the tethered because we are supposed to empathize with them and we are supposed to like believe that they are part of us as well, but they just paint them in such a negative image that all they come off as is stereotypical villains, you know? Like same thing with like Avengers, like Thanos kind of had a point, like that's it.
Wow.
but yeah, a lot of things because we're talking about privilege, so we're talking about the same situation with Black Panther. Like I didn't feel like T'Challa should have the throne. I felt like, nah, bro. Like you're mad MAGA about this. Like you're going about it like this is my country. Let's put a wall and don't let nobody in. And Killmonger was actually trying to help people and trying to help people who actually should be given help. So I feel like a lot of people relate to the movie, but they don't realize that what they're relating to is actually against the things that they believe. You know,
the only thing I didn't understand is if Lupita was trapped down there when she was a kid, why the fuck she didn't just try to get out and live a normal fucking life? Like why did she go back to? You know what I'm saying? Why the other Lupita had a whole family? Like, why she care?
Because she was stupid.
Yeah, and that's clearly what it is.
Well, she wasn't stupid. Well, she structured that plan though, so she couldn't be too stupid.
It took 30 years.
But that's what the movie is asking you to do, to suspend your belief that she's smart enough to put together this whole thing, but she's stupid enough to not know how to just get out of the trap that she was in. So it's like. That's the thing, and something else I would compare it to is Inception, because that's probably the movie that I was last super like excited for. That I'm like, that movie's gonna be a masterpiece. I saw the movie and I was like, wait, something was off about this movie.
Everything.
And then later you go on the internet and people are like, why he just didn't fly his kids out? And it was like it was like, damn, like yeah, that's the thing is that once you really start like taking it apart. The simple things become like apparent and you're like, fuck, like this wasn't actually like it was cool, but it wasn't that deep. It was actually kind of stupid. So like it's just a lot of things like that. And other things I wanted to point out was basically the ending, because So basically, what we're led to believe is that at the end, the real Lupita or whatever the real character was trapped underground. So, as an audience member, the payoff for that would be that she actually gets her life back. That is what would feel more like better because we're like, oh wait, if that was really her, then she would kill the bad version, the imposter, and then take her place
Yeah.
and become somebody. That would be an actual payoff. And I think he kind of dropped the ball with this one because if you look at Get Out, he had said that basically the ending that they originally had was supposed to be what everybody predicted it to be, where he has the shotgun in his hand and then the police pull up and they arrest him, and it was very predictable, something that we actually kind of fear when we watch the movie because we're like, nah, tell me the movie ain't gonna end this way, like that's negative, and like, but then it ends up being his boy from the TSA. So with that, we feel like, oh, that's dope. And not only is that dope because the guy who the entire movie has been telling him to get out comes and saves him. That's a great payoff. But also it's about empowerment and like we can save ourselves. So that's good. When it happens with this movie is the whole movie we're told to believe, okay, there's duality, that we all are the same and our circumstances create monsters. But then at the end of the movie, the monster ends up winning. We're like, okay, I get it. That's dark. That's some crazy shit. But we're like, wait, what's the payoff of all this shit? Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing paid off from that movie. What would have been better is if smart ass Lupita Underground actually planned for this and had like a wig or some shit and actually could speak. She was faking to speak, and then it really was her at the end that she killed the wrong one and took her clothes and came up and was like, bitch, I'm smart. Like, yeah. I know, like I'm not stupid. Like, and now she can control all the tethered, and she's going to live her life above ground. That's a good ending.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, because I didn't, watching the movie, I'm like, why is she the only one that could talk? And then it finally hit me like, okay, yeah, this makes sense.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think the boy got switched too?
I don't. I see rumors of that, but like I see people saying that. I think if you want to believe that, you could, because there's so much open to interpretation. But you're just reaching, like you're being forced to reach for things that aren't in the movie, like just to write a whole.
Yeah, because I was thinking
backlog,
that also when she was when the boy had he was backing up into the fire and she was like screaming for him to stop.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, is that like her actual son? Like.
Yeah, because I was like, well, if Lupita did win, the good one or whatever, if she did win, she don't know this family. She don't know these niggas. This is not her life no more. This is the guy that the fake Lupita chose. You know what I'm saying? And these are their kids. So she can't just come in there and just take that shit. Like, it wouldn't make any sense. It's just too much to think about. Like, what the fuck? Like, if she did win, like, would she really be with boy?
So a big issue with this movie, I think, happens when it comes to character and it comes to like. Basically the world, like setting up the world. So the one thing you don't want to do in a movie is set up a movie where we don't understand the world and the rules of the world. When we don't get that, we're just like locked out. Like, bro, this is bullshit because you're just breaking rules that they told us you can't break. So there's certain rules you can break and there's certain rules you can't. When it ends the way it ends, we feel like we don't understand the rules because we're like, wait, okay, we understand that these tether can't talk, but then this person can talk. But then if this happens, like it ends up unraveling because there's certain exceptions in the rules which haven't been communicated, and that's when I feel like the movie starts to fall apart because they withheld a lot of stuff just to make it open so that people can speculate and create different theories, which is good. But when it's too much where we really don't even know the rules of the movie, that's when it's like, bro, just throw the whole thing out. Like it's none of like. Like it's not chopping up to make no sense. So yeah, that's the thing. And there's just so many things about it. There's so many reasons to admire it, but there's also a lot of reasons to just poke holes and be like, bro, like this thing was just set up badly,
Yeah. That's why, a lot of people like, yeah, I ain't saying that shit again. This shouldn't be no Us Too. This shit, I mean, if you do, you gotta have better writing.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a sequel to any of his movies. It felt like he put more attention to the plot twist than the actual movie. Like I felt like I was just watching a 2-hour episode of Goosebumps, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think he was kind of going for that aesthetic too because he kind of likes those type of things and he wants to. The thing is, if you watch a Twilight Zone, it's a lot well made. Like if you watch the old joints, they do the same thing, but they're well put together and they make sense. And that's the thing is with him. I think he kind of decided to, like, like not care about certain parts just to make it so I can create these Easter eggs or like sort of like bring it back and do this imagery that like kind of lines up with the movies he likes. Like he was just doing stuff for Easter eggs and not really acknowledging some of the holes. And it's interesting because the more I see people on Twitter kind of break down things like the shirt, the Doe shirt or whatever about the rabbit, it's like bro, but that doesn't say anything about the film. That's just the Easter egg. Like that's cool, but it doesn't really like make me understand the movie better. It doesn't make me like, oh damn, that's crazy. It's just like that's cool that he did that, but it doesn't make me like the movie more, or the characters.
He should have had the tether eating people instead of fucking rabbits. That would have been like, oh shit, yeah, we need to keep these niggas underground. But rabbits, like regular people eat rabbits. Like my granddaddy eat rabbits.
I seen people talking about the Hands for America shirts and all that stuff. I'm like, come on, man, that he just seen that on YouTube. Up. You hear us now?
Hello?
Yeah, you hear us? I guess it got a bad signal.
It's the tethered, bro.
Oh.
You got a clone, Chris?
No, I don't know. I was the thing just died out.
Bro, we see him get bodied in the middle of this face, and I'm just gonna put my headphones on and walk out. Yeah, he's just
Well, he's gone. Yeah. There's nothing we can do. We're like 5 hours away. We can't do that for.
Let's see. Yeah, so what else, yo?
That's pretty much it, man. We just wanted to get your thoughts on us.
So how y'all feel? I think Devin loved it and Amp didn't really like it.
You're like, I thought Get Out was amazing.
I loved it, but I won't see it again.
You loved it?
I loved it, but I won't see it again.
I kind of wanted to see it again too, just because of like, just like the amount of talk around it. You do kind of want to watch it again and pick up on things, but it's one of those things because I felt the same way about Inception. When I saw it again, I was just like, oh, this is stupid. Like, like it's hard because then once you know all the problems with it, you're kind of like from the beginning, because at first you're kind of suspending belief because you're like, all right, I don't really know where they're going. Maybe this will make sense later. But then once you know how it's going to end, you're kind of like, bro, like I had like my people with me. Once we left, they were pretty much just like, bro, I just didn't like how it was stupid. People doing stupid horror movie things, like walking by themselves. It was stuff that was just like, all right, like a normal person would act that way. And Get Out, it was a little bit more like, like it made more sense. And I think
what the fuck was going on. I didn't.
With Get Out, I feel like the subject matter is something that we actually can understand and comprehend, that we believe in. Like, okay, there's appropriation happening, there's gentrification, so the metaphor makes sense. With this one, it's a little bit more muddy because it's like, yeah, we don't all agree that there's underground like clones of us and this and that. Like that's not a lore in like our history that we actually like agree on and see relevant. But I do like the concept of duality. I just think that they messed it up by making the clones barbarians and like they, because at that point there is no reason for them to live. If they were smart and they were better than us, then they might have a reason. That like Thanos kind of had a reason. It's like, bro, if we want to live good, maybe half the people reduce. Like there at least there was something behind it that we could actually understand where they're coming from.
Man, that dumbass nigga, he had the ether stone. He'd have just snapped and had food for everybody. This nigga just said, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna race everybody.
Overpopulation is some shit though. Like,
yeah, he could have kept supplying people with food though, because he had the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, you got infinite power, bro.
But he didn't want them there.
Racist ass, fucking space hillbilly. That's all he was, bro.
He on a farm, so
yeah, I told you, space hillbilly, bro. Hey, but if I was to go see Us again, I wouldn't, because I'd be so biased now. Because after sitting down and reading all the reviews and watching the people get their own reviews on it, I'm like, nah, I don't want to ruin it for me, so I'm not gonna go see it again. Cause I'm gonna be like, this shit's stupid. This shit's stupid.
You need a certain level of intelligence to appreciate Us, but you need another set of intelligence to like know why there's problems with it.
I didn't know J. Cole made this movie. Did J. Cole fans make this movie? That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
I think also people like, they said like Jordan Peele fans all of a sudden. I think people are like scared to like accurately like critique this movie.
It's okay
the way it need to be,
and that's fine because as a good director, that's what he would expect. That
it's the movie you need to sit down and think about this movie. Like it's just like it's not like one of the movies where like you just have an opinion instantly. You got to sit and really think
Yeah.
a little bit about the movie and like do a little research and be like here and there. Let me ask y'all a
That-
question.
yeah,
Did y'all think it like was going to Get Out route? You remember after like the white people got killed by the tethers? You remember they was watching the news and you heard the white woman speak? I don't know if I was probably the only one that thought this. I thought maybe like the tethers, they like called the news channel or some shit and told them like the black people was out killing people.
I mean, that's possible.
That's wild.
That's what I thought.
Kind of cool.
I was thinking that. I was like, oh shit. She gonna finesse them and they gonna come looking for the black people.
I saw early like rumor, I think like some type of speculation where they were saying it's possible that this family, the black family, was actually like, older people that got, I forgot the surgery that they didn't get out, where the white people take the black people's body, so that they're actually white people, and that's why they're they're taking on features of white people or whatever. Like characteristics, which that's just like something to throw in the deck. Like if you want to believe it, you can believe it, but it's not said or established.
Yeah, that's just some extra shit. I could see somebody thinking that, like the scene when Lupita, she was like snapping her finger with her son, telling him to get in the rhythm.
Yeah,
and they had like they did a bunch of corny stuff. Winston Duke, he was kind of like, he was a cornball brother. He was a blavity black.
Yeah,
what the kids say
but
nowadays.
You're not in charge anymore.
That rhythm thing was a mistake though. Like it was a mistake because when they did the scene, they gave everybody earpieces in the car to hear the song, but they didn't give the little boy an earpiece. So it was just something that happened, and I guess because of Twitter, they kind of like acted as if it was on purpose because it kind of goes along with the movie, But with like speculating, but you can't do too much of that because eventually people will be like, bruh, but that doesn't make sense with this and that. So it's like, you need to know as a director and a writer which things you're putting in there for hidden messages and which things are mistakes. Because if not, people are just gonna call out your mistakes. Like every movie has mistakes, but it's like, you got to acknowledge it because now it's gonna ruin the whole film.
I think I'm gonna take a year off of movies that make me think too deep, bro. I think I'm gonna just stop.
You can watch Booty Bone.
I'm gonna watch Booty Bone.
Booty Talk.
It's just more porn.
Booty
bro.
Talk.
And the Avengers. That's it.
That's really gonna.
I ain't
cloud your
seeing no
brain.
more movies that require a think piece of me to write notes down. I'm not doing that no more. Fuck that. I'm
You're trying to get drunk,
bro. I'm paying. I'm literally. It's like paying to go get a school lesson. I'm not gonna go get no lesson.
Man,
what?
You sound crazy right now.
That sound crazy. I'm not finna, bro. You really want to pay movies that make you? Well, go watch movies that make you think deep as fuck. Like Inception.
Yeah.
The first time I see that shit, nigga, I am. Okay, so it's a dream inside of a dream, but this nigga not dreaming, but he woke. But if he fall in his bathtub, he woke. Like, nigga, what the fuck?
You know what movie? Yeah. You know a movie people hype up that they say you got to think a lot. That I hate.
What?
That I thought was garbage. Interstellar.
Man, that movie was fucking.
No, Interstellar
booty.
was garbage, bro.
That was booty. You don't have to be smart to understand
movie.
Interstellar. That was fucking booty.
Yeah, I hate that movie so much.
Matthew McConaughey.
Interstellar was trash.
The character he played in that, his thought process, he was a genius, but the way he went about things to get from point A to point B was just fucking stupid. It was just
exactly
dumb.
The movies shouldn't make you think; they should make you feel. Like you should watch it and like really feel what's going on, but you shouldn't have to really like dissect like the motivation. You should be like, "No, that makes sense. Homie's doing this because of this."
Right.
Like you shouldn't have to think so much where you're like, "Bro, wait, why is he doing this?" And then at the end, you're like, "Yeah, that didn't make no sense. Like that was that there was no purpose for that." And like with movies, you got to suspend your belief and like really get into it and try to put yourself in the shoes of the character. But if it doesn't make sense and you don't agree with it, then you're gonna obviously disconnect from the movie and be like, bro, like I this doesn't take place in reality, and it to me it's a fantasy, so it doesn't line up. And that's why I don't even like movies as much as I like documentaries. Like lately specifically, it's hard to connect into a fantasy world, so it's like it's easier for me to really just like mess with like real stories, real people,